So welcome back to another video. Now in this video, it's more of an announcement actually, because Centurion Agency, which is my higher level program, takes you from anywhere from 5 to 10,000 a month with your agency and scales you up to 100,000 per month with your agency. I show you exactly how we are currently booking in 150 sales calls per month for the agency, how you're able to go ahead and sell those clients at a 30 to 40% close rate, or close those prospects at a 30 to 40% close rate, and how you're actually able to build clients that come on for your done for you service at anywhere from 5 to 10K per month, right? That's the standard in which we uphold inside of Centurion. And also how to build out consulting offers and downsell offers for those prospects who aren't a perfect fit for the main service, right? And then obviously from there, once you go through and actually close those clients, we then go into how to deliver unmatched results for those prospects so that you have a high client retention rate and you have a high client monthly billable, right? Average billable per client, and you increase volume. I mean, that's the true key to scaling to 100,000 a month with your agency. And that is really what Centurion Agency is all about, right? It's the roadmap to 100,000 a month with your agency. And so I just wanted to make a huge announcement, right? Because the results that are warranted with Centurion Agency are so ridiculous. And it's almost a no-brainer, right? That you're gonna scale to 100,000 a month with your agency by leveraging Centurion as the roadmap. I am increasing the price by $3,000 on June 14th, right? So from now till June 14th, the program is the cheapest it will ever be moving forward. And on June 14th, I'm gonna be increasing it by $3,000. That is not just numbers pulled out of thin air. That is genuinely based on the results. To be honest, I should be charging way more than that if I'm being fully transparent based on the results, right? I should, if I was to charge 100,000 for the program, you in month 2, month 3, month 4, you would be wildly profitable based on that investment, right? Now, I will say the program's not priced at $100,000, but I could definitely charge that and still, you guys would be still tremendously profitable by enrolling and taking action on the program itself. However, as I say, I'm not charging $100,000, but I am increasing the price by 3K on June 14th. Now, if you are interested in joining the Centurion Agency program, then go ahead, click the first link in the description. It's going to take you to a booking page. You'll be able to book in a call with myself personally, where I'll walk you through the program, how it's structured, why it gets such great results, and I'll show you exactly what we're doing in my current agency right now. As I say, that's enabling us to book 150 sales calls a month. I'll show you our exact ads manager, the exact audience targeting that we're leveraging, and then as I say, we'll go through exactly how Centurion is going to enable you to scale your agency to 100,000 a month plus. So as I say, if you're interested in joining the Centurion Agency program at the cheapest price it will ever be, click the link below, book in a call and get in right now before I increase it by 3K on June 14th. And just so you guys can get a real good feel of how the program is structured, again, why it gets such great results, because it is a done with you offer. So I work personally with you and your team to scale your agency, right? I don't just throw you out a program and then just, kind of say, there you go run with it, right? I genuinely work with you and your team, right? And the rest of the community works with each other. So everybody scales up their agency. Just so you can actually see how that can kind of play out. Here is a recording of a community call that we had like last week, I believe. And these community calls actually happen a couple times per week. And as you can see in this call, people share their own screens. Everybody's unmuted. Everybody just has a general conversation. Each member in the community helps out each other as well. We have a tremendously powerful winning community. So I wanted to go ahead and drop in a recording that we had last week, as I say, pulled directly out of the Centurion Agency program. So I deeply hope you enjoy. I hope you find value. And as I say, if you're interested in joining for the cheapest price the program will ever be, go ahead, book in your call below and enroll now before June 14th, because at that point, I'll be increasing the program by 3K. Cool. How's things been, dude?
Pretty good. I just got off a call with the client, because I basically like the client that I talked to you about in the US, because I told them like at the moment it's just not worth it, because I made the numbers like with a 25 CPM, they would need to spend like 254 euros, keeping everything else constant, in order to get one sale, like they are doing in Europe, like because of the CPM is 3 in Europe, then and they need like 10,000 impressions in order to get one sales. Then I just transferred everything into the US market, and it just makes no sense. for me to be spending that money. So what I tried to go for the Spanish market and for the European that is working market, but he's so afraid. I don't know, like I don't know why, honestly, but I guess that since we didn't even get, I mean, one sale because I wasn't gonna. We didn't do like in 2 days. We had just 2 days, and I told him like, look, this is going nowhere. So I was like, he was like, okay, I'm not gonna give you Spain, the big market, because that would be optimizing what they have, and what they want me to do is expanding at the moment,
Right.
which I believe it's harder than optimizing, but whatever. And then what they told me is basically that I can go for Europe, but without touching Switzerland, because that's the one that is giving them like a good ROAS too. So I'm gonna be able to go for Europe, but I don't know like how should I go about it? Like, should I just be trying testing different countries? Should I just go for one country and go all in with it? What do you think? Do you want me to show you the ads manager, like what they've been doing in Europe too? That way you can
Yeah, I
have,
can do.
yeah, because they've been testing in Europe too. They didn't get good results for the most part.
Where are you currently getting good results?
Okay, so they are good results. They are getting a 2.6, 2.6. That's lifetime. Like if you go for the last 30 days, 2 point, well, almost. Okay, not that bad. And then 2.48, and then in Switzerland they've been getting like 2.84, but overall, like in the rest of Europe, like this whole campaign has like a 1.8 or something.
Mhm.
So they've tried Ireland, nothing. Uh, they've tried Netherlands, like nothing. This is England, but they told me not to touch England because of the Brexit. Not Brexit, the Brexit. Um, and then this is Italy, 0.55, and Germany, 0.68. They
Okay.
haven't
Yeah, I
touched
think
France.
you. What's the product?
Oh, the jewelry one.
Okay, got it. Um, yeah, I mean, dude, honestly, like I would. Um, actually, what's the budget that you have?
130 per day.
130 a day, just for Europe or just for you?
Just for me, like for Europe, well, or for whatever I want to
Got
do.
it.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I would try and actually pull audiences, to be honest.
oh, where?
I pull them. So just do, I don't know specifically what countries, but maybe just Europe overall.
Mm-hmm.
And just try and pull that. I mean, that's what we're doing for agency ads right now. We're just pulling the top 5. And also in clients, we've seen that no targeting is doing the best. I don't actually know specifically. I can actually have a look here.
Okay, so you would say like to get them together, like
Yeah.
put them together. Okay, okay, that's
Give me
interesting.
a second here. Let me see one of our bigger spending clients. Because we've pretty much we haven't fully gone there yet, but we're going to be going pretty much 100% no targeting top of funnel.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's been crushing. No targeting DPAs. Yeah, and locations: Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and US.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. So,
and that's been like, but dude, the audience size is 290 million people,
damn,
and it's been by far crushing everything.
damn. Okay.
Yeah, we're currently spending 1,200 a day on just 2 ad sets. One's 400, and the other one's 800, and it's been crushing everything in the ad account.
Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah,
So I would
that.
try that. I would launch with that, to be honest. I would, yeah, roll out with that.
Mm,
And just see how it goes, man. Like, obviously, you've got some pretty solid KPIs there, like in terms of what you should be seeing on the ad account. Like, if you just scroll over there on those ad sets, that top one's like 2.8, isn't it? And then um, what's the cost per click? 3.38 CPMs. That's wild, dude.
that's low.
That's very low. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah,
Yeah.
the
What's the
cost.
cost per click?
I don't think I have it. Let's see.
Okay. And the other thing as well is if you go broad, like it's scalable. You know what I mean? Like we was a dude link click,
Or link click or
um, a link click. You know, we was like looking at scaling, we were like, how should we go about it and whatnot? But we just realized like it's so scalable. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to worry about tapping the audience out. You don't need to worry about doing anything like that. All you need to focus on is creative. That's it. You know. So yeah, definitely no targeting is good. So you know, for example, there, that's actually very interesting. That's getting the best ROAS, but it's got one of the higher cost per clicks. I suppose that does go to show that cost per clicks kind of insignificant. But overall, I would launch with that structure. And then just monitor it like in terms of your you know, softer metrics. And you can go a bit more as well. You don't need to do a bunch of testing at the audience level. You know what I mean? You could do like 2 to 3 ad sets, but you can just pretty much keep all the ad sets the same. You know, like for example, we'll do like 3 top of funnel ads sets, no targeting. Every audience is like 290 mil. But each one will do different, obviously, because it's not obviously the ad is not being shown to 290 million people. It's a cluster, all that type of stuff. So it's still good to do a couple. But yeah, don't really need to worry about
Okay.
audiences and audience testing. It's just really focused heavy on the on the ad level.
Okay, cool. So then that's that. And then I wanted to go and check the ones that we've been doing with them that they were getting like absolutely uh too high CPM. The CPM was super high.
Mhm.
Uh, so this is what we did and with them. Um, I mean, like you see, like their CTR weren't bad, but at the end of the day, since they were just getting into such a little audience, um,
Yeah.
it went bad. And let's see, like, because for example, if you go to the ad set level, like what my media buyer did was like pulled a lot of audiences together, try to. I don't know if that's the best, but you see like basically it's just no way with these CPMs we can do anything. Even and the conversion rate of the website is 0.05, point 0.5, not 0.05,
Oof.
0.5.
Yeah, that's an issue in and of itself for sure.
Yeah, they're saying that they are changing the site next month in July, but I mean like they got $1.1 million revenue last year. So it's like that can have a
Yeah.
impact.
Where are they based?
They're in Spain.
Okay. Yeah, I think Europe's probably going to be your best bet, to be honest.
Okay.
You got ridiculous CPMs as well in Europe, which is great. Um,
And also, would you like, for example, in different countries like France, Italy, would you run the ads like in English?
I
No,
do it in English.
you do it in English. Okay.
I think you'd be surprised. Obviously, just select the select the language of English. And yeah, you'll be surprised at how many people actually speak it. And plus, that way, it's going to be much easier. Is the site in English?
It's also in Italy, and I think in France they have it too. Let me just check. But
Okay.
yeah, I think
Yeah,
like they have
maybe you can maybe test that actually thinking about if it's all gonna and
more.
obviously ensuring that everything in the back end is the same as well, like all the email follow, you know what I mean? Like if you're going to do it, Italian, for example,
Mhm.
everything's got to be in Italian, it's not just the ad and the website, it's the shipping, it's the confirmation email, you know what I mean? It's everything in the back end.
Yeah. So, for example, yeah, like they have Italy, France, and I think this is Dutch. I don't know, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah. You could try it. Honestly, I would do I would do a couple broader ad sets for sure. And then and do those as English and kind of pull everything together. And then I would also do some specific, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Um, and what CPMs do you get like in Australia? Like, what is normal to
It
see?
depends on the product, man, honestly. But usually it's going to be usually it's like $10 to $15.
Okay. Okay.
But
Cool.
that's US, not um
Oh.
Australian.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. But
But
again, it ranges on the industry. That's the biggest impact we've seen on CPMs is obviously it's the country, but it's also the industry. Like
mm,
industry to industry. I don't know why, but it's just, yeah, drastically higher. Obviously it's who we're targeting as well is a huge impact. Like our agency ads are, from a CPM standpoint, they're wild. The agency ads right now are $75.
75. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
But
but
we're getting a nine. Oh no, we're not. We're getting a 3.95% click-through rate. And we're getting a $2.84 cost per click.
yeah.
So I
Yeah.
mean, it's expensive for ecom. This is in Australian dollars as well, so it's slightly lower in US. But obviously, it's much more high ticket. But we're still running ads in the US. We're still running ads in Australia, but it's a different industry. Is my point. So it's drastically higher. We're targeting a complete different person, so it's going to be much higher, obviously.
Okay. All right. Thanks. That's it. I think at the moment. So I will just let the other guys go, and if I
Yeah,
get
for sure.
something else, I will just hit you up. Okay.
Dope, man.
Bye bye. Thanks.
All right. Next up, just unmute yourself, guys. If you have a question, any updates, whatever it may be.
Hey man, how are you?
Good, dude. How are you? It's good to see you in here.
Yeah, good man. Yeah, this will be my first proper. I did jump in the other call, but I didn't really have time. What am I struggling with at the minute? I guess I'm not really struggling with bringing on new clients, but it's the quality of the client that I'm struggling with at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I can sort of pretty consistently bring on these lower ticket clients. But I'm at the point now where I've got 8 or so clients and I don't want to be sort of carrying on moving in that direction. And I guess I'm finding it quite difficult to steer away from that because I know I can get results there, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, at the high level. What's the source right now that you're primarily signing clients through?
Just email outreach, Loom.
Okay. Where are you finding the clients?
Where am I finding them? So, well, I find them across Instagram, stuff like that.
Okay, cool. So, I mean, you're in control of that then, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
That's a good thing about it. You know what I mean? Like if you was running ads, for example, then it's like, okay, we need to look at changing the copy. We need to look at changing the funnel because you're attracting the wrong type of client. But if it's through outreach, then it's just you reaching out to the wrong type of client. So you just need to look at changing your the qualifications, So I mean, what do your qualifications look like at the moment? What do you look for in a client? Is it 10,000 followers, no ads? How does that look?
So I look at a few different things. It depends on what industry. Because a lot, for example, you can find some homewares and furniture clients that look really, really poor, but actually they're doing quite big numbers.
I know. I had a sales call today with a furniture client he's based in, I think their offices are in Yorkshire or something. He's based in Manchester. And I didn't look at the like, obviously, because we're running ads, and like I don't look at any of the leads or anything like that until the morning. I look at my sales calls for the day, and then I go through and cancel if anything needs to be canceled or whatever. But today I just left him. It was like 5 minutes before the call. I went onto the website, checked him out, and I was like, fuck, I should have canceled this earlier. Because the website was horrific. Like it was so bad. But I was like, oh, I don't want to cancel too late. I'll just hop on. Hopped on. It was like, yeah, so we're spending about £5,000 a month right now. And we're bringing in roughly around £100,000. We're getting about 20x ROAS. It's like, what? Yeah. I was like, is it 100% through the website? He's like, yep, everything's through the website. We're 100% online. So yeah, I completely get what you mean with that.
That's what I've noticed at the moment. And I sometimes, well, I do reach out to the bigger clients. It seems there's fewer of them though. So when I'm doing outreach, there's a smaller amount of those clients that I reach out to. And they often, they'll view the Loom video. Sometimes they don't reply, or sometimes they're just not interested. And this could be because my sort of case studies and things like that are of a sort of lower caliber because of the clients that I've been working with. So it's trying to make that sort of jump.
Yeah. I think you just need to like up the qualifications. Like I would start looking at brands at like 100,000 followers and above, and look at brands. The number one way to really get bigger brands is just to reach out to brands with more ads. If usually bigger brands are running at least 10 ads.
So yeah, I'd sort of will look at if I find a brand that's running ads and it's got under, say, 20. Sometimes I'll reach out to ones that have got over 20, but some under 20. Normally that's the point that I sort of will look at.
Under 20? Yeah. Start looking over.
Yeah.
And 100,000 followers. That's a pretty solid criteria for attracting higher caliber.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. Obviously, I'm working my way through the program at the moment, so I haven't got my own website's not like optimized, and there are other holes. If they sort of go and look at the video, then look elsewhere. So
that was the final thing I was going to say. Yeah, that's the final thing I was going to say. Week 3 is we'll really kind of. Have you gone through week 3?
I'm going through it now.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that'll really kind of change your perspective, because it's very much so like through ads, for example, where you're not taking a sniper approach. It's more like brands are coming to you. If you're getting low quality traffic through there, well, the number one reason is because that's who you're attracting, and you're only attracting that through the assets that you've got, right? The ad copy, the creative, the funnel, the VSL itself. That's the reason. So that's, again, an easy fix. But once you get that type of stuff locked in and you really dial it in relation to who you've detailed in your foundational car playbook, you can kind of attract anyone you want, because you just position your assets, to attract those types of people. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. But in your outreach, just change who you're reaching out to.
Just me.
It's a good thing, though. Yeah.
But I guess it's just because that's where I've had the success. So it's very easy.
I mean, what your average billable is like, what, 500 to 1,000 a month?
Yeah, probably around 1,000, just under, probably.
Okay, so you're at like just over what, 6,000-7,000?
Yeah, give or take.
Okay.
Most of my clients are in the UK, so it's in pounds. So it's
okay. Yeah, not too bad actually then. As I say, I would just change that up. Keep leveraging your current case studies. And then obviously, as we go through in that 100K MRR action flow, it's just like a feedback loop. You know what I mean? You get a client through, you use theirs to, get a high caliber client, get higher caliber clients through, use their case. You know what I mean? So like you say, it's just getting that one big client, which you can 100% do with lower case studies. Like I've done it, obviously, to go through that transition. So you just need to make sure you're getting in front of them. I think that's the issue right now. You're just not getting in front of them.
Sure. Okay, cool.
And just create some sort of asset like a VSL, or even just like a 5-10 minute video. It doesn't have to be like this big production thing that goes through like deeper concepts. Like today I was on another sales call with this brand. It's a really cool brand, actually. They're like the number one brand in their space. Their partner, one of their partners is Usain Bolt, like crazy brand. And he was basically really relating to what he was like, I was watching through your video and you was going through like the idea of making ads resonate and really, creating that burning desire in your ideal client for them to buy. Like, it makes complete sense. I see why that worked, stuff like that. So like that's the reason he booked in the call. You know what I mean? So it's not, yes, case studies, backing yourself up with evidence and whatnot is vitally important, but it's also the ideas and the concepts that you discuss as well that attracts clients just as much as the case studies in some cases. So that's super powerful as well. It's not like, I've not got big case studies, so I can't get bigger clients.
Yeah, sure. Do you think it'd also be worth, because obviously I don't have a media buyer at the moment. I don't really charge my retainers aren't high enough to warrant bringing a media buyer on. But do you think it's potentially worth getting someone ready in that space? And if they're happy for me to use their case studies to attract bigger clients as well, do you think that's something worth doing? Or
definitely. You're going to have to at some point. Pretty soon,
my next step, as soon as I got those higher caliber clients on board, is to get a media buyer in anyway. I don't want to be doing this service delivery, but
you definitely need to. I'm currently recording week 8, the program, so that'll massively help you with that. But yeah, you'll 100% have to at some point, and it's best to start now, not when you're desperate. When you're desperate, you kind of just hire the first person who comes. It's just like, yeah, you're a good fit, let's just go. Whereas if you've got a bit of time, you're not really too stressed about bringing somebody on as soon as possible. You tend to take a more logical approach to it, and overall end up hiring somebody much higher caliber.
Yeah, sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dope. Was that all, man?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think I've got any other questions. Were you asking what CPM was in Australia?
Yeah.
One of my clients, I've got them loaded up.
Asked me.
So the CPM for me in Australia, this is sort of homewares.
Yeah.
Looking from about, this is Australian dollars as well, from about $7.90 to the highest, and that's including retargeting. The highest is $13 Australian.
Wow. Yeah, well, Australian as well. Yeah, that's obviously about 10 to 5 US. Yeah,
it's really low.
Yeah, it is. Again, it's just the industry that has definitely the biggest impact. The industry and obviously the country, but within a country, the biggest impact then is definitely the industry and who you're going after. What's your targeting on that?
It varies.
Like in terms of demo.
So it varies. Some of it's really, really broad. But some of it's a lot more specific, and even the stuff that's specific is still really low.
Yeah, right.
It seems at the moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. Anybody else who wants to jump in?
Yeah, maybe it's my turn now. So how's it going?
Go ahead. Good. How are you? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it's true. But sorry?
Have you finished uni or college?
Actually, I was finishing this morning. Tomorrow by 12 p.m. is the hand, or a.m. I'm sorry, a.m. is the hand-in date. So I have some hours left to just do some rough formatting. I just call it that way. I'm actually so done with this stuff. I don't want to do that anymore. But I can turn on my camera so you can see me. Yeah, I'm
there we go.
Pretty rough right now, as you can tell. Long nights, but not for business, unfortunately. So
yeah,
we get.
So is it today? Tonight, it's all over.
Yeah, basically, I have the defense in like a month or so, but it should be peanuts. I think it should be pretty much easy to do. So, but
nice. I bet that's like a good feeling, right?
Yeah, it's indeed a good feeling. I mean, I've not spent since the last 1.5 years, I have not spent a single day at university physically, because actually I'm studying in Denmark and I'm living in Germany. So this is still some
Wow.
hours to drive. Yeah. So I'm pretty happy that I can be like live here in my hometown and just work remote from here for university. Actually, I didn't attend a single lesson ever since. I was just consuming some like the books that we got and some video courses and stuff. So I'm really thankful and happy that it's all over. But I have a totally different concern or thing. If I'm allowed, I will share my screen. It's also about some ads. And I most probably told you multiple times about this because it's my funniest client. This is about the avocado thing, you know?
Yep.
And I do run into some issues because I'm not quite sure how I should scale that. As you can see, the copies are resonating quite well. Also, the CTR is quite high. By the way, I just briefly checked the questions about the CPMs over here. I'm having this is about 20 USD, I think, CPMs. It's pretty high, but they're quite profitable on cold, these ads. So I usually, if you can see my columns, I don't have CPMs included here because I don't really mind about them as long as the click-through rates and stuff is really good. Because, well, maybe I can find another client that has also similar measures. This must have also, like, we're on 4% CTR, but the CPMs are here. How high are they? Also like a bit more than 20, but they're also profitable as far as I know.
Yeah, I like that, to be honest.
Yeah, 3%, 3
kind of really focusing on CTR because that's what you can 100% control, right? You can 100% control your CTR. CPM you can control, but if an account has, at least from our experience, right? If an account has a $50 CPM, it's just off the charts. There's nothing in our control that we can do to get that down to like a $10 CPM. It's just not gonna. It's just whatever it may be. Maybe the account's been hit. Facebook is tarnishing them because they've done X, Y, Z in the past. The industry who we're going after, maybe it's just one of the most saturated industries from our experience. If an account's at 50, 60, or just a crazy CPM overall, $40 even, there's nothing that we can do that's going to impact it that much that it's going to go down to 10 or 15 or whatever. So rather than really trying to focus, obviously it's good to know roughly where the CPMs are at for sure. But I mean, overall, what's in your control to impact is 100% the CTR, because that's got nothing to do with cost. That's just how well your ads are resonating with the audiences you're showing it to. That's all it's got to do with. So that's what you can really focus on. And obviously we like to focus on the things that we can, we actually have an ability to change,
Yeah, for sure. I also ran into often the issues that I try to get a rule of thumb which creatives perform better. Is it videos at lower CPMs or is it photos? It's totally different client by client. We 100%. We don't know in the beginning. And also often clients worry about these CPMs, even though this is really not the biggest leverage point, because I mean, this is way nicer to have higher CPMs. So I was reading a lot and improving on copies. And if you may see, this is, for example, an ad, and this is quite long for an e-com ad because I come from the coaching industry, I would say. So I got used to like this kind of long emotional copies, and I did the same for this client here. Maybe we can find, you can see in this ad set is only one copy, and I will explain in a few seconds why. This copy is even longer than that, I think.
Dude, honestly, I want to say, well done to make long form copy around an avocado. I don't know if I could do that.
Yeah, basically, I was just making up a story how they started to get into this business. Nobody has to know that it's just partially true, but yeah, it works pretty well. As you can see, this credit is quite good. I mean, 38 comments and 200 likes and stuff, and there's nearly all just positive feedback. So basically what I've been running into, you can also see here's the backend. This client is quite small. So you can see this is the last 7 days. So we are bringing in roughly maybe 100 euros per day. I cannot scale well, I would say. I figured out, I did a lot of testing, of course, prior to this campaign. We've been running ads for this client about 2 to 3 months now. And they all have been quite well. And we did a lot of audience stacking and didn't really broke it down yet. So we just started like as you can see here, 16th of May, this is like 1.5 weeks ago, we started to break the audiences down and figured out this avocado interest group, the single target, is performing the best by far. So I duplicated this ad set every now and then to just hope that the ROAS doesn't break in, and then we can just scale this ad set without touching the budgets on the individual ad set level. This is why I scaled it in the same campaign. So the thing is, of course, we already talked about the similar issue that there's just different bubbles inside of the target group, the audience that we can address. But what would you recommend me to do? Because as you can see, the CPI, the ROAS are quite different among these 3 ad sets. Would you recommend me to now maybe take the most profitable ad set? If I go into lifetime view, then you can see this is still this one that runs at 12 euros that I never really touched ever since I created it. And it also does a lot of good job when it comes to the purchase price. The AOV of this website is around 45-ish, 46-ish euros. So with 10 euros CPA, this is quite good. But what would you recommend me? Because we of course, like here, spent 90 euros and brought back in 340. So this is quite a good deal. And even this doesn't factor in this. There are some non-tracked clients, as you can see, like 400 euros we could not get taken into account in the advertisement manager from Facebook.
So yeah, I mean, first things first, that ad set that you got highlighted there, and then the 25 euro one,
yeah,
that dip is more than acceptable, right? It's not, well, you know, it could be a little bit higher. It could be like 3.5, but that's not too bad of a dip, I would say. Whereas obviously the 2.4 is a huge dip, and that's definitely broke. You know what I mean? Like when we talk about this breaking at scale, that's definitely broke there. But yeah, the other one's not too bad of a dip, especially if you go back to this month. I think you had up originally.
Yeah, it was the last 7 days, I think. Let me just do this month.
Okay, yeah, maybe it was the last 7 days.
Yeah, let's go the last 7 days. That's all right.
Yeah, that. Yeah, so 4.1 to 3.7,
yeah,
not too bad, right? Not too bad of a dip. So what do you, is it, do you feel as though it's the way in which you're scaling, or like, what do you feel is the issue here? What happens when what are you doing? Are you just duplicating and then just increasing the budget?
So what I basically tried here is to see if there is any budget this ad set feels well at. And apparently this 25 euros perform way better than this 20 euros, which I thought would be the vice versa, because I thought maybe if I put too much budget into this audience, because I think, how big is it? Sorry, my computer is kind of slow right now. So it's 280,000. It's a really small group. And because I try to like get the pixel more seasoned and try to use then lookalike audiences and stuff, because this is a bit of a tough thing for this target group, because really nobody else in avocado interest works well enough, I would say. So
I would honestly have a look at doing a no targeting. Have you tried a no targeting?
No, I didn't. I'm a bit scared by that. I figured out for another client because I accidentally forgot to target, and there worked pretty well. Works better than the targeting, which is pretty. Oh,
you forgot to target?
Yeah, I can show you this. I was trying to make like a view content thing. I think it was for an.
It's running at 6.9.
Yeah, can we see it? Is it this one? Yeah, you can see here. I forgot to put in the targeting. You can see it's 21 million. Yeah. I didn't even have the breakdowns for the ages, because I thought I'll just leave it open for retargeting anyways. And apparently this is performing. Yeah, if we go lifetime, maybe it's a 5.
Wow.
It said 5. That's ridiculous. I mean,
yeah,
this was just my point.
Yeah, that's my point, dude. Honestly, no targeting has been doing really well. I don't know if you was on just as I was talking to Rodrigo about it, but
yeah, I was listening. It's like
you were, yeah. So we've got audiences at 290 million right now, and they're crushing it. We're spending like 1,200 a day on 2 no targeting ad sets. 400, one's 400, and that was doing so well. It was like, shit, we need to scale. So we just duplicated, went to 800 on the other one, 1,200 a day, and they're just doing the best in the ad account. So, you know, back to the other one, I would honestly recommend doing a no targeting. And something else that I would honestly would that we would look at doing as well is something like an avocado interest, and then just taking out the age range. I would try that as well, because 290,000 is a small audience.
It is.
And so, you know, right now you're spending, you know, 55, 60 euro-ish a day. And that's gonna not, you don't need to worry about it like this week, but eventually that's really going to tap out. So as I say, I would look at probably, to be honest, I would probably look at taking out that 20 euro one at 2.4 and then doing like a no targeting. And I would also try one, just like an open age range, and just do the interest.
The thing is, I've been trying this, of course, in the beginning with the open age ranges, and of course the ROAS should increase the longer you do something. And we figured out also by the names of the orders that we have in the store, this is a bit like the older generations. This is why also the emotional long copy form avocados may seem to work better than like the benefit short copies, because the avocado is just an avocado. It's not that special. I mean, it's organic and it's grown in Spain or so, but it's an avocado. You can we already doubled the price from the regular retail for this avocado in order to keep the margins high enough so I'm running at 1.8 ROAS. Everything is profitable for me on this side. So this is his break-even ROAS. So I'm quite happy with that, and he's quite happy that he can charge higher prices and also get the logistics in place. This is another topic, the logistics, because I cannot unlimitedly scale this, because he needs to. This is like a fruit that can expire and go bad in the process, and he needs to order them 1 week before. So it's a bit like kind of a planning issue and communication issue, but I mean, that's not too bad. So basically what I've been trying is to break down by ages, and before the iOS 14 update entirely rolled out, you could do the breakdown thing. And I just figured out it's mainly women above 45 years old that bring up like a 3 to 4 or 5 ROAS in the process. And the younger generations, they are not doing this because the avocados are basically just too expensive for them, and they don't appreciate this that much, I think.
It's a very good pull. It's a very good finding, which is obviously why it's so important to do those, because I'm just like, just do that. And you're like, well, actually, no, it didn't work like that. Makes complete sense. So I would honestly
you cannot
then
see
try
everything from here.
Yeah, in that instance, though, I would then try a no targeting, because look, like I know, just thinking about it, like I don't like avocados. I'm not allowed to eat them anyway, but my parents, for example, love them. I know they're not obviously. Where are you targeting, by the way? What country?
Germany.
Just Spain.
Solely Germany. No. He's okay. German. I only have German clients apparently. I just have only German clients. This is why it's a bit of a caveat to that. But yeah, it's only Germany, and we are not that many people here. We are like 80 million people in Germany, and of course, this target groups are always a bit smaller. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll do a no targeting then. Back to my point. So, like, my parents, obviously, they're in Australia, they're not in Germany, but they love avocados, and I guarantee you, they're not in the avocado interest. You know what I mean? So, I think a no targeting would make sense. Just do your age range. Just do above 45 if that's what you've seen has definitely worked the best. And then at that point, that's infinitely scalable. Whereas the current ad set, you need to try and find a couple others, because that's they're limited to the scale. Whereas if you can crack no targeting ad sets, it's limitless. Or just other ad sets, right? It doesn't have to be specifically no targeting, but that's just me relaying like what we've seen today, like this last week, today, etc. That is just it's crushing it. Yeah, just going more broad, just naturally just going more broad is definitely seems to be the way to go.
Yeah. Okay, good. I understand. That sounds very reasonable. Okay, I will definitely try that. And I will report you how it works. But I also have a good feeling if you say that way. Okay. What about retargeting? Would you do this? I mean, it's really not. First of all, we have not many people like not checking out. We have like from add to cart to like purchase, we have 7 losses right here. And it's in some instances even smaller. So this is kind of a good conversion rate on the store. I think I designed the store myself. I made it myself, and we are like looking at almost 4%. Okay, not almost 4%. I'm bad at math, but there's like 3.5%.
3.7, still solid.
It's solid. Yeah, it's definitely solid. And we're also not losing too many people in the process. Would you still recommend to do like, let's say retargeting? I mean, there's only 200 content views in the last, let's say it's 1 month or so. Let's see, 14 days. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's 250. It doesn't really make sense, right?
Yeah. Not really. I mean, I would roll out an all website visitors ad set just to see, just to kind of, just do like 3 to 5 euros a day.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Because you actually actively don't want to be spending as much, just naturally. So I think, yeah, like a 3-ish, maybe even, right? Then it's not going to hurt too much if it doesn't do well. But just do it, obviously, an all website pixel. Don't do any segmenting because it just won't spend. And just kind of see how that goes at like 3 euros a day.
Okay, this client is obviously on Shopify. Would you still do a custom audience for this, or would you just take the Shopify audience? Because I think they do have something automatically in place.
I just do the website, the all website visitors on the pixel.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Okay, so you would do a custom audience. Okay, good, great. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah. Oh, they also don't have that right anymore. Okay, thank you very much for your time. That was really helpful.
I'm glad, dude. I'm glad. Best of luck with your exams as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. I will report definitely.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Cool. If anybody else has any final questions, just go ahead and unmute yourself. Smaller group today as well, actually. No? Seems as though that might be it. Rodrigo.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you, because I don't know, like right now seeing at the website conversions of other people, and then I see at the ones from my clients, and it's just like so different. For example, I'm looking at one of my clients at the moment, and it's a point. This is another one. This is not the jewelry one was 0.5, and this one month is 0.54. And then I've been talking with somebody that is like Shopify developer, and he gets like he create websites, and they are usually around 2 to 6% conversion rate. Would you just try to get the clients on board of optimizing the website? I mean, I have no idea why they don't convert, honestly. Like, I don't know if it's because of something specific of why they are not converting, but I guess that this guy can have an idea. So do you think that I should be pitching them on that?
Do you have a ROAS deal in place?
Not at the moment with any of them.
Okay. Yeah, you could definitely pitch them on it. Yeah. I mean, one of the best things that we found that you can do really for website stuff is just get some sort of heat map software installed. So we always default to Hotjar.
Wait.
And that's
I didn't understand a word you said about heat map, or I have no
a heat map. So are you familiar with Hotjar?
No.
Have you never heard about Hotjar?
No.
Oh, wow. Okay. No, it's just basically, let me actually see if I can pull up one here for the agency. It's actually really good. There's Heatjar, there's Hotjar, there's, I think, like Orange something. There's like another one.
How do you spell those?
So hot, just HOTJAR.
Okay.
So let me show you this. Yeah. So this is where we're sending all traffic with our ads at the moment. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
So basically, this is inside Hotjar, as you can see here. That's like the logo. And essentially, what it shows you is where people click around, right?
Okay.
So you can see here, and this is why it's so interesting. It's like 157 people have clicked this headline section.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what I mean? You would never think about that unless you had this. It's like heat maps, right? It's like, where are you going? And, you know, it like leaves a trail. That's essentially all it's doing. But like information like this is very, very like 14.2% of people who land on this page click the title, you know? So maybe that's something, my CMO has actually spoke about it. We should link this title to scroll down to this section, right? Like in ClickFunnels, you can do it to scroll to a section. So maybe that could increase conversion rates. You know what I mean? So that as soon as you click this, you just go like that to the actual page here and like click here, right? Unfortunately, it doesn't track the actual embed. But yeah, I mean, it's just curious overall, right? So 14 people have tried to click the logo to go home, but obviously it doesn't go anywhere. 33 clicks on here, which I don't think is, oh, okay. So I suppose there's like 2 there. There's 33 there. One there. Yeah, that's interesting. But either way, you know, it's just interesting. Like this is interesting as well. 10%. Obviously, this is a video. Maybe I should change this. Basically, I put a screenshot.
I clicked on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, I'm trying. What I was trying to do is show that we do creative direction, you know, and we do like subtitles, the captions like this and whatnot. But obviously, there is that big play button, so maybe that's an issue on my end. Again, I wouldn't know that without the heat map. So I mean, it's a really good way to just see what people are doing. And again, for example, maybe everybody is trying to click this one button because they think that that's going to do whatever for them, and it doesn't, and then they're like, oh, and then they go here, and then so if you actually make that button do what they think it's going to do, if you can figure out what you think, that could help increase conversions, etc. So that's something that you can do. That's obviously just kind of free for you to just get a good pulse on.
Is that free? That's free?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, there's definitely a free trial, but I think there's even like there's like sections to it. You know what I mean? So I think you should be able to maybe get one client. If it's not free, it's only like $30 a month or something. Just get your client to pay for it. But yeah, that's something that's really powerful. And then obviously, yeah, there's a lot to website conversion rate. There really is a lot. I know a few people who are pretty good at it. But that's one of our real big qualification points as well for clients before we bring them on. Like if honestly, I'll be transparent with you. If a client came to us at 0.5% conversion rate, we probably, well, I wouldn't bring them on. You know, it's just because it's so difficult. You know, it's so difficult to get them good results when you're sending all this traffic and they're just not converting.
What if they made 1.1 million in annual revenue with 0.5%? Will you bring them
What
on?
if they spent 1.1 million?
Oh no, they spent. I mean, like that's the thing. They got like in the website they convert. Like it looks well. They convert. Like they get a lot of sales from the website, but not from the ads. Like from the ads themselves, like they may have spent last year 145K last year or lifetime. I think it was lifetime actually. But the ROAS is 2.2. I mean. You saw the ads, like the ads were pure love making yours, like it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But you know, like the proof of concept, I think it's there, because if not, you wouldn't be getting so many sales.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. But obviously it's mainly because that'll be like repeat customers. That'll be people who are like lifelong lovers of the brand or whatever, you know. I take it it's a long-term brand, right? How long have they been in business? Like 10 years plus? Like
9, I think.
9, there you go. And so obviously they've built up a customer base, they've built up a name for themselves, and those are the people who are converting, rather than somebody who, because those people don't need to be sold. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like I know for me, if I know this brand and I go to their website, I don't really care what their website looks like. I'm going to buy. Whether it's the worst website, takes me 10 minutes to check out, I'm probably going to end up buying anyway, just because I know the brand. Whereas if I got sent an ad for a brand I had no idea, and it was the same level of website, it was terrible, took 10 minutes to load, this, that, I would never buy. You know, so it's just a different pre-frame that they're going to the website with. And if the website doesn't do a good job of selling the product, that poses an issue. Also, though, I would say it's going to be much lower for higher tiered products. So if this client, I know their jewelry, what kind of level is the jewelry at?
like like I mean, like the price.
Yeah.
I mean, the AOV is 70.
Oh, shit. Okay. Right. So
Like
no, so that doesn't apply.
you
If it
go
was like
for like
2,000, 3,000, then if it's a 0.5% conversion rate, it's completely fine.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, 70, the AOV. But
Got
yeah,
it.
okay, I will check the Hotjar that for the clients. And then just curious, like, what do you think about crypto? Like, do you have any holds on crypto?
No, I don't.
You don't?
It's something that, yeah,
Oh,
I know it's like really powerful and it's like it's all going that way, but yeah, I've not put any time into learning about it or anything.
mhm.
And obviously I'm not putting any money where I
So do you
yeah,
invest
what
in
I do.
something or just in yourself?
I've got 50 grand, but it's in just like different shit. Um, but honestly, dude, right now I'm really not seeing any better returns than in
Than
the
you yourself,
in
right?
what we're doing. Yeah, into like myself for sure. I mean, I just dropped 50 grand on a mastermind. But also our ads right now are doing ridiculous numbers.
Yeah.
So I'm and like today's been a 16, I think 15.9K day. Um,
Oh,
and as I say, we're spending like $200 a day on ads roughly. And yeah, I'm just not seeing a better return anywhere else.
mhm.
So I'm just kind of tripling down into that for now, at least.
How
What about you?
many?
Do you have any holdings?
I mean, at the moment, I'm just investing in myself. I think that's because I mean, if I put like a lot of money that what I have at the moment, it wouldn't make such a big difference. Like I wouldn't get like 50K in return in a year.
Yeah.
So I mean, for example, I just got like 1,000 in crypto, like different split in crypto. That's what I got. But
Yeah.
then the rest is gonna go in myself because I think that that's the biggest impact that it will have until maybe 2 years from now, and then from 2 years,
Yeah.
I will definitely get into investment and all that kind of thing.
Yeah. I completely agree, dude. That's what I've done. As I say, I'm still doing it right now, to be honest. Like I'm just not seeing bigger returns anywhere else. You know,
Yeah,
I'm really
yeah.
not. So
I think Killian wants to say something about how his crypto is doing.
yeah,
You're muted.
you're
Wait,
muted, dude.
no, I don't think you connected your.
Crap. No,
Yeah,
Oh,
there
there we
you
go.
go.
too many microphones. No, basically, what I wanted to ask you, Kai, is, do you have like a private corporation? Because right over here in Germany, I used to have one for like many years. Like private, but I have to distinguish that. I mean, do you do this as an solo entrepreneur, or do you have like a limited corporation behind that? How would you do that?
Behind what?
Like behind your business? Because, for example, I made
Oh
a
yeah, I
limited
do.
corporation here,
Uh-huh.
because our tax rates are insane. We have like 50% income taxes right over here. So everything I just do
Oh,
that will be deducted by the end of the year. And
yeah.
this leaves no space for like investments and stuff like this. And
Mhm.
but my downside is I never paid me a cent, from the business side, which is really good because I can like keep it every dime in there and just reinvest it. But how would you do that, and when would you start to pay out something to yourself?
Yeah, good question, man. I mean, I'm the same, to be honest. So, I mean, I'll be very open. I pay right now. I've got a like a direct debit from the company. On July 1st this year, I'm doing a completely different structure. It's going to be more like dividends and a bunch of like extra shit. Well, it's not extra because it's genuinely, important and it will save me a lot on taxes and stuff. But right now, up until this point, I'm just doing I'm paying myself 5,000 a month, um, which is kind of not that much really in comparison. Um, and that just literally covers my car and my rent. That's pretty much it, and that's really all
Okay.
I've always done. It just covers my expenses really. So yeah, me personally, I've not got any money. Like me personally, I think I'm like worth like 7 grand or something. But it's all in my company account, and yeah, I have a limited company now. I was a sole trader up until October of last year. I created the limited company October 1st of last year of 2020. And I was a sole trader up until that point. And then I went to a company structure because over here, I don't know what it is for you guys, but for me in Australia, it's 27.5% at the company level. If you, yeah. So, I mean, that's just like the normal structure. But as I say, July 1st at the end of this financial year, starting next, we're going to go to more of a dividend structure, this and that. I don't know the ins and outs of it just yet, but I know that's what we're going to be restructuring to. And so it'll be much less than 27.5% at that point.
Yeah, it's right over here. That pretty much the same. I got recommended from my friends. They also have an agency because they have a holding structure. So they only pay 1.5% corporate taxes on their income if they pay out the money to the mother company, and they can keep all the money for real estate investments. Because personally, you don't need money on your bank account. Like for what? Not going to buy a private jet. If you're going to do it, you can reduce it from taxes. So this is corporate expense again. So I kind of think the same. So I considered to, because I quit my job quite recent, like last month was my last month I was working. So this was the first one I'm not working anymore. Yeah, it feels kind of weird, but
yeah, surreal almost, right?
Yeah, it feels a bit weird, but so I need to kind of pay out some point. I was always kind of a good minimalist lifestyle person, so I have a lot of savings, but I was just wondering if you have like some income level where you would say, okay, now it makes sense to, let's say, pay out $600 or so per month.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Well, again, I can only speak from what I did. I never did it to, okay, now I make this much, so I can pay myself this much. Because I think for me personally, if I think like that, then there's gonna be a point in which I'm just overspending for no reason, just because I'm making more. As I make more money, I don't increase my expenses. Like my expenses for my car and my rent, which is like the two biggest things I pay for personally, is like 4.6 thousand a month, 4.7, basically just call it 5K a month. Which in comparison to the income, it's nothing, you know, and that's what I like. It's, you know, because, so if I was like doing stages, or when I make this, I'll do this. When I make, right now I'll be at like 20 grand a month. I just don't need it. You know what I mean?
This is not what I mean, but I just need some money to cover my life expenses, of course. For example, if you would have said like, okay, if you have 3,000, you can pay out 500 per month, and not increasing this except you really need this. Because to be honest, I'm still a young person. I don't really need money right now. What should I buy with the money? I don't even have time to spend that. So what is it for?
Yeah, for sure, dude, for sure. Well, then, yeah, I don't think there's any issue. Just covering what you need, for sure. Okay. If you feel like you need what, as I say, that's exactly what I did. I just did it to what I actually needed in my personal life. Yeah, I probably need about $100 a week for food. Cool, $400 a month. Okay, what else do I need? Well, I need rent. Okay, this. Okay, and my car is this. Perfect. That's all I pay myself. It's just so I can like live comfortably. Maybe a bit of fuel here and there. That's pretty much it. For me right now, it's about 5,000 a month. Is really all I need to be going into my personal account each month.
Okay. So you even paying the car yourself? It's like not like a leasing contract.
Yeah, I fucked up on that. Yeah, okay. I fucked up on that. Basically, I had this bad accountant, like, probably to like nearish the back end of last year. And then basically just transitioned to this new accountant. He's amazing. He pretty much told me, yeah, you fucked up on getting the car in your name. Should have done it through a company. But anyway, we can transition it over, and that's kind of what we're doing now. And I've also just got this thing where I can like track all my trips and whatnot. Yeah. So now it's all going to be going through the company, even like coming down here. It's like a 3-hour drive. This place was like 8 grand for 3 weeks. So all of this can just go straight off of the straight off a tax.
Yeah, are you doing like right now your place, putting it into the company or at your name?
Where I rent or this place?
Yeah, well, both of them. Can you put both of them on
Yeah, I can
your?
do a section. I can do a section of my rent, and then I can do 100% of this place.
Okay, cool, cool. Are you
Yeah,
doing that?
and the drive down here, I can write it off the depreciation of the car as well.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
are you doing that?
Yeah, yeah, I am now. Now that I moved to this new accountant like November, I think of last year, around there.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I love it, dude. When you actually dig deep into the structure and whatnot, like I'm excited. Like as I say, July 1st, we're gonna switch to like a dividend structure, and I just love all that shit. But it's just good when it's it's comforting knowing that you're doing everything you can. You know what I mean? And there's no like, oh, I could be doing that, could be doing this, I could be doing that. You know? So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I have a friend that only pays 2,500 euros for his G63 in Germany. Germany is, of course, a very
Yeah,
car-friendly country, so we have a
yeah,
lot of tax write-off options for cars. That's pretty
yeah,
insane. Yeah,
yeah. That's
like two and a half
wild.
grand for this car. Yeah, including insurance and fueling he gets extra from the company, but it's pretty insane.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ways around it. You just need to know how to navigate your way around it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also wanted to ask you about your company structure. Like, how many people do you have in your company? What do they do? Like the media buyers, if you have a copywriter or something like that.
Yeah, so I've got two media buyers. And that's it for the agency. And then
How
I've
many
also
clients
got
do you have? Like, how many clients
huh?
do each media buyer has?
So each media buyer has a well, we've gone through, and this is really what I've been wanting to do, is go through a bit more of a just higher ticket just work with higher ticket clients. Like I've said to you previously, like we've got clients now spending like 100,000 a month, and they're the type of clients that we're really trying to work with. So it's always been around 9 clients ish, 7 to 9 on average per media buyer. But now with like 100,000 a month clients and spend, it's more like I would say like 4, probably max, right? 100,000 plus, so that's like 150, 200, etc. But yeah, it's about 4 clients, I would say, is like the max. So it's a big drop, right? But obviously you're billing each client a lot more. But yeah, that's the only they're the only team members for the agency, and then there's a bunch more for the education side.
And for the agency, how do they get paid? Like, do you pay them based on the ROAS also? Like, do they get a percentage and then they have like a fixed thing? I'm just curious about
Yeah,
that.
yeah, exactly. So one of them we're still doing a per client basis, but the CMO is on that structure there. So like a retainer plus a percentage, and those specific structures and whatnot. I go through those in week 8. That's obviously what's coming out this week. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I'm recording it this week, and we go through those specific structures, the structure of the agency itself, what you can hire for as well if you need to. Sometimes, for example, if you're going for more volume, then you're going to have to hire a GM at some point, or some sort of pretty much a GM to handle the client volume and whatnot. Whereas if you've only got like 10 clients but they're all spending however much, then you don't necessarily need a GM to handle the clients, you know what I mean? But if you've got like 50 clients and you need a handler there and stuff like that. But yeah, in
And
terms of specifics, that's in week 8.
do they take care of all the copywriting themselves?
Yeah, I don't have a copywriter.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, because
And
I more prioritize that in the hiring process, to be honest.
in the web?
In the hiring process.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah,
That's the goal.
yeah.
Media
Sure. I
buying is
mean,
it's
when
not
you
shit,
look,
but it's not fun.
yeah, I only like writing copy for myself, to be honest. Kind of selfish, but I only like for the agency, for the education side. That's really all I like writing copy for. But the other thing as well is if you actually get if you actually get somebody who loves marketing, they usually like to write copy as well, you know?
Sure thing.
So,
It's pretty interesting.
yeah, for sure.
This bit off-topic stuff is really nice to hear. Very interesting.
Yeah, it's I like talking about different stuff, not just client acquisition or whatever.
Does Oli have a question, or is he raising the hand?
Gonna Oli, do you have a question, man?
Oh no, that's it. Like that's all for me.
Yeah,
Cool.
sorry, man. I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were
I
asking
just
all-
wondered if you could take a look at ad account quickly.
Yeah, of
Just-
course, man.
Yeah, no, just thought give us.
Yeah, for sure.
2 seconds.
Just go ahead and share. I'm just gonna grab a glass of water quickly.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Oh crap! Man, that ROAS looks decent.
Well, for this, really?
Yeah, I think it looks
Okay,
good.
I'm stumped with this client. Okay, so I've been working for them they've been working with my agency for a few months now, and when I first took over, I was probably getting them a 12 ROAS.
Wow, crap.
And they had ads running with another marketing company, and with Facebook representatives of their advice as well. And my ads have always outperformed everyone else's that are on the account. And so it was always really good because I could always reference in updates and things like that. Look, mine are way, way better. They have stopped, but then in the last month or so, the ROAS has dropped dramatically. And for me, obviously these ROAS are still quite good, but to the client, when she's been getting much higher ROAS, she's worried. She's asked me to reduce ad spend, things like that, until there's higher profitability, I guess. But if we look, like the CPM is really low. Fairly low. That's Australian dollars. And
is this a homeware client?
Yeah, and you've got good click-through rate as well.
So how long ago was the 12 ROAS coming through?
Probably March.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow. So recently then. What's changed?
I don't know.
Or has nothing changed in terms
really.
of like what about like new ads, stuff like that?
I've been, obviously there's been dips in performance, and so I've been trying out different things based off the metrics and stuff like that, but just the cost per purchase across top of funnel, for example, was around the $20 mark. Now if you're looking now, it's like 64, 51, and now middle of funnel 19, but that's where top of funnel used to be. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Is there any seasonality to our products?
I looked, not really.
I'm just thinking because we've gone into winter now.
Yeah, of course. I looked back at the previous year, and what her sort of results looked like back then, and they were even higher.
Okay.
But that was obviously start of lockdown, I think, last year, and so there would have been a big spike in homewares back then. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to sound like a broken record.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but are you doing any no targeting stuff?
Yeah. So that's I target just for gender, for example. So women are more likely to buy homewares for the house.
Yeah.
And so I target just the whole of Australia women. That was doing really well. I've tried targeting absolutely everyone. That's done okay as well. But I'm a little bit, I'm not sure what to do.
How's creatives been looking?
Have a look at them if you want.
What about like new stuff as well? Like, are you getting a bunch of new stuff from the client?
Yeah, she's just given me a load of new images. she's sent them through. So I've put some new ads together. You can have a look at the ads if you want. I only did a new sort of iteration today. I believe you'll be able to see what I'm doing with it as well. So they're like the ad sets that I'm testing at the moment. So you got a big lookalike audience. This is a stacked audience that was already on there. So loads of interests that they'd already labeled as their best audience. So I've thrown that in there. You've got women, lookalike across, you know, sort of socials and stuff like that. And then everyone. So that's how I've laid it out. And then I can't remember how many ads I'm running each. Might be 3.
Yeah, the only reason I ask about the ad level is simply because that's what's going to produce the biggest impact.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like we always are saying, you know, like to not, for example, don't, you know, in this instance for you right now, there's no point changing the headline, you know what I mean? Or like the body of the copy. What you really need to be focusing on is the creative and the first 3 lines of the copy. That's going to give you the biggest impact.
Yeah.
So and that's what's really going to drastically drop it.
Sure. I've changed it. I've changed the copy now. I've made it a lot more simpler. As it was much longer before. So I've kind of just stripped it to see if that has any sort of difference. I don't know if it will massively. You've just got a carousel ad like that.
Got it.
I've turned and put the shop now, pay later in there just as an extra incentive. That wasn't there previously, but I put that in under each item to see if that pushes sales in any way.
The other thing I would say is potentially like those creatives are like interesting. I get the vibe from it. I get the feel of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know what they're selling.
Yeah, I do. I thought that as well. Potentially that the imagery that I've got access to for that is all very that sort of lifestyle-y image. They're the sort of images. So I put a dynamic, I was going to test it, a dynamic ad in there, just pulling from the catalog just to see how that performs in comparison. So
what were the creatives like that were getting the 12 ROAS?
Kind of similar. They're different images. Kind of similar to this one, really. Slightly different, but there were ones with multiple products in potentially, or it'd be like a lifestyle image with just that one product in there.
Right.
But these images obviously don't have any data really. They've only been live for about an hour.
Yeah.
Less.
I obviously seen there's already some purchases coming through there, so that's a good sign.
Yeah. Then I guess the only other problem is trying to convince her that the ROAS are still okay.
Yeah.
It's the consistency that I'm finding. Like some days will be really, really good, and then the next day nothing. And I think that's where the problems sort of stemming, or that's where the problems coming from.
Yeah, well, that's kind of Facebook for you overall.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a lot more of an up and down platform.
Last week. Oh no, but yeah.
Yeah, well, overall, dude, I mean, they're still solid results. Like it's difficult because she's got anchored in her mind 15 ROAS or 12 ROAS.
Yeah.
But these are still solid results, like 5+ ROAS, 4 top of funnel. It's still solid. So overall, what I would try and do is, if anything, try scale whilst maintaining a 4 to 5 ROAS.
Yeah, like the budget was higher before, so we've had a higher budget at that ROAS. She's asked me to reduce it, just because she's scared, basically.
I was going to say she sounds extremely emotional.
Yeah, she's scared, basically. But I have a really good relationship with her. She'll listen to me if I push her to do what I believe is best. But she just said to me, "Look, I'm worried. Can we just reduce it?"
Yeah.
Said, okay.
Well, and she's only spending 1,000 a week.
Yeah, well, that's what it is now.
Okay. Well, Yeah, over obviously there's two options basically. You know, it's to scale and try and maintain this, or keep the low ROAS and just try and increase it back to a point where she's like, okay, you know what I mean? Like I'd say maybe like a 7, she'd be feeling a bit better about.
She would, if it was at a 7, she would.
Yeah. So maybe then just focus on that, right? If that's what she wants, you got a good relationship with her. Maybe just focus on trying to get it back to the 7. And as I said to you before, the only thing that's going to get it back to a 7 really is the first 3 lines and the creatives.
Sure.
Yeah, that's going to have the biggest impact.
I kind of feel like she's potentially, I've asked her, she said she hasn't done anything massive, but to get the click-through rate it's getting on that CPM, I would expect results I would expect it to be so much higher, but
what are the clicks? Those are insane.
Yeah, it's wild. $0.59. Wow. Has the conversion rate of the website dropped?
I asked her in my last email, but she hasn't responded to it yet.
Oh, you should have access to her Shopify anyway.
Yeah, she's a little bit funny about that for some reason, but yeah.
Oh, is she? Yeah. Well, okay. That's a story for another day. But yeah, just try and figure out what that website conversion rate is, because 59 cents a click is pretty solid. What's the AOV? I've seen a sale there for $28, but what's the AOV? Is it around that?
Yeah, sometimes the product like range is fast. So you've got products on there for $20, but you've got products on there for $1,000.
Right.
It's changing all the time.
Right. Okay. Again, if you had access, you'd be able to see black and white. But
yeah, of course.
That's all good.
Push off for that.
I really would, because it would just give you more insight. You know. Yeah, I would have a look at that website conversion rate as well, because I think that could definitely have an impact on this.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Oh, man, of course.
If I'm allowed to ask one more thing, I was just browsing through a very problematic ad account. Is it okay that I show it?
For sure.
Okay, let's go. So basically what happened here, as you can see, there's a PPE campaign because I'm just trying now fancy stuff in order to get more social proof on one of the ad sets or one of the ads. Basically, I cannot get profitable results for this client anymore. It used to be at a 3.6 ROAS, but it definitely dipped, but it was mainly due to she had like an influencer marketing campaign going on, and we did a lot of retargeting for her. So this was quite profitable in the first place. But ever since, it's really difficult to get people on cold. And we as well tried open targeting, let's call it that way. So we just basically didn't do interest targeting, but did targeting only based on the gender, because she's producing shoes for women, of course. But apparently I do run into some issues because she's not liking my copies. I also tried a bit more emotional copies, a bit more long form copies, because it's a sustainable handmade product from Spain. So I just tried to kind of wrap it a bit more up. She didn't like it. She also doesn't like, what's it called, like emojis and the copies and whatnot. So I convinced her to do that because I did a split test and it worked definitely better because it's more the eye-catching for the opener. But I'm unable to get good CTRs on this thing, which I would say this is basically the copy, because the targeting is quite okay. The CPMs are also quite low, which is usually corresponding, like low CPMs equaling low CTRs. This is at least what I experienced. Now learning from Ollie, it's different, which is kind of frustrating. But basically what I ran into is I spent 218 and it brought back 217. That's pretty bad, to be honest. I maybe should show you some of the, which campaign was it? Let's go on Lifetime. Because it's only a few, she has plenty of products and she wanted to test everything human possible. You can see we have a lot of copies and different angles on the product. This carousel ad performed the best, but I mean, the copy for this is pretty, I hope you can see that it's a bit smaller. So it's kind of a medium length copy, but it's not really, no, it's a short copy. I'm sorry. This is the short copy. We don't get engagement on these things. And also they don't convert very well. And she wants to keep it in English, even though her customer base is definitely in Germany. Oh, here's a blank space. Her customer base is in Germany. She got like 90% of revenue there, but the problem is her entire website is in English, and she doesn't want to change it because she thinks it's a bit fancier to have it in English. And I tried to split test it. Of course, use a German copy. The CTR was higher, but the conversion rate was lower because basically the website is in English. It doesn't resonate. There's no like, what is it called? Like continuity or whatever. So
Yeah, I'm going to.
yeah, it doesn't work out if I just change the copy. I should change the entire website in order to make this work. And I also think there's a lower trust on the website. I have no idea what the conversion rates are, but they're, I think she said like 1.5 to 2, which is quite okay. I should be able to make some results from there. And I also send a lot of traffic to the website, as far as I know. Let's see.
So you're saying that you're only able to run ads in German to an English website?
No, I tried that, and the CTR on this was way higher, of course, but the conversion rate overall for the ads were way lower if I, of course, do it in English, because the website is in English and the ads should be as well in order to
Oh, for
make
sure.
it good.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but this is the issue I'm running into, because as I said, her customer base is here in Germany. I just try to find some ads for you to see, because the ad quality is it's very good actually. She produces quite high quality. Can I maybe see one? Oh, let's take a look at this one here. It's pretty basic. Let's say fashion advertisement. If it loads, you can see here. It's for these shoes here. It's a bit flat.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not much message to it, but she wants to test these ads and see the angles and whatnot. But it's not a scroll stopper. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like those types of ads, honestly. Like, I really don't. It's like
they also don't bring any revenue so far.
Well, yeah, the first 6 seconds of that video was her showing her hat. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just you don't know what it is. You have no idea, honestly, some really, really good creatives. This is one of the main reasons why I originally found the brand. Is Axel Arigato. It's the only pair of shoes that I wear. I've got them all around the house.
What are they called? Axel?
Yeah, AXEL.
Yeah.
And then space. Oh, it's down there. See, space Arigato.
Yeah. Okay, I found it. Okay.
Go into there. It's a different style. Obviously, it's a bit more streetwear, if you like. But those shoes. Their shoes are the only shoes that I wear. They're amazing. But the reason I bought them was because of their creatives.
Okay.
Also,
go ahead.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say, because I have a client based in Spain that we also for shoes, and we are in Germany too. For Germany, we're getting like a 6.5 for us, and the creatives that we are using. If you want me, I can share the screen.
Oh, that would be very great. I will just stop my screen. Wow, this community right over here.
Wow. But you see those, those Axel images, Same with this, right? Like it's all about the shoe.
Yeah.
There's no other focus.
We call it like pattern images, like basically from the pattern here, we just put it on the back end. And these are the best performing ads. Like they are. Let me just guide you through it. 6.68.
Wow.
For this.
On a 5 daily, that's insane.
Yeah, that's also another thing. That's crazy. That's what.
Wow. Yeah, they all look kind of like that.
But then Germany patterns again, 10.21 ROAS. For this one is typically the same.
And that's wild.
Then this is also Germany, but you know, this is in stories. Like we were finding that
Yeah, they of course convert differently.
in stories they were getting good results, not as much in Germany in that one. But then carpet bombing, that means like no interest, like they were getting also like 5.68.
Yeah, I
So,
should definitely do something about the creatives for
so
sure.
if
So
that helps.
the targeting, you basically just do like the carpet bombing you call it is just open targeting.
Yeah, I think so for those ones. Yeah, my media buyer loves doing that. Let me just check.
Nice.
Yeah, like the audience is 20 million.
Wow. Okay. Well, I have to do something about the creatives. Like, it's impossible that I get so bad results.
Yeah, like
But she's very persisting of getting her creatives because she's paying money for the photography and the video production. And I
Just
mean,
send
she
it
anyways uses
inspiration,
for.
man.
Sorry.
Just send it inspiration.
Yeah. For sure, I will do that.
Like
I need to change
like
something
that.
about this.
Yeah, for sure. Like that. I think that's the biggest issue with the creatives. Like it's not. You don't know what it is. Like yeah, they look pretty, but you don't know what it is. You know, like all of Axel's stuff, Rodrigo's creators. They're like it's all about the shoe. That's what you're buying. You don't want to see her hat
Mm.
jumping about in like the woods or what. You know, interested in that. You want to look at the shoe. You know what I mean? And same goes for any creators. Even like Ollie's before. You know, with the um like the rooms, like you get a vibe from it. It looks nice, but what is it? What is it? What are you selling?
Yeah,
You're not selling
yeah.
the room, are you? What is it? You know, you got to really drill deep into that. And that's, as I said to you before, like iOS 14's, you know, it's up in the air right now. The shit's kind of everywhere, but I think it's really, and we've always said this, we've always known it, you know, creators, but now it's like really about the creators. We found, like, as I say, we literally got audiences 290 million. There's no targeting, and we're doing like 4 different countries, doing like, you know, the big four. And we're just tripling down at the creative level. So yeah, I think that's probably the best route that you can go down. And the other thing as well is the creators have the biggest impact. So that's why we're always focusing on changing the creators, because that's going to impact the results the most. Better or for worse, it doesn't really matter too much. At least it's going to have an impact. And it's not just going to be the same. You know, if you just optimize the headline or whatever, even the audience in some instances, it just doesn't. There's not that much difference. It might go from a 2.1 to a 2.2, but it's not like a 2 to a 4. What'll make it go from a 2 to a 4 is the creative, you know?
I understand. Okay, great.
Yeah.
This was very helpful, Rodrigo and Kai. I will definitely execute on this one. It's very, very insane what this community delivers. It's really,
sure,
I really appreciate.
Glad
To
glad
one
you
day
found
give
value.
back. Yeah, sure thing.
Still.
Okay, great.
All right, guys. Well, great call. It was a small one, but it was a good one today.
Yeah.
Nice and
I enjoyed
nice
that.
and in depth. Hopefully everyone was able to put some actionable tips. I will have this recording inside the Teachable portal in the next 24 hours. And yeah, with that being said, we'll speak on Wednesday's call.